All right. IR live, it says here on the screen. Wonderful. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in the world. We got some great stuff already coming in here. Salina, is it Oh, Salinas, California. I thought it was Salina, Kansas. Sorry. Uh, that's where I'm from, not Salina. Okay, good morning, Cynthia. Good to have you. And Shelley, hi. And Darla, how are you feeling? You okay? Good morning, Sandy, of course, my old friend. Colette, good to see you. Ted, Susan, also great people. Hello, Anna. Good to have you here with us. And Carl. Okay, so we're here sponsored by the Center for Mindful Living, also known as the Mindful Living Collective. My name is Roger Nolan. I've been teaching with Elisha and his crew for a long, long time now. We do this on a voluntary basis. Teachers come in and rotate. I take the third Sunday in every month shift. That's usually my deal. And if you're at all interested in giving an offering to the Center for Mindful Living, and this can help with scholarship funds and so forth, we do have a PayPal account, and I've just put that up in the chat window. All of this, of course, is voluntary. These are just, offerings of generosity, if you will. But I'm happy to be here just to be here. I want to tell you, I have things that I want to share with you today. Why? Because I think they'd be helpful for you. And a second answer would be because this is you too. This is who you are in terms of your experiences with anxiety. So, the theme today is the anxiety antidote. And I know that might sound like a big subject, but I'm going to keep it very, very narrow. And we're just going to use one aspect of the anxiety antidotes that are available to us, both internally and externally. Now, the interesting thing about the central nervous system is it can be very easily tricked. Yes, it's true, because the central nervous system does not know the difference between something coming in from outside or something happening from inside. So here's a little example. There have been some studies that indicate that giving yourself a hug like this can actually increase oxytocin levels in the brain and lower cortisol levels. Oxytocin is that connection hormone. Cortisol is basically a motivational hormone. It's something that gets us mobilized for action, and it's often implicated in stress as well. So the central nervous system doesn't know that I'm hugging myself. The central nervous system just knows the organism is being held and I'm doing it myself, but it doesn't know that. So it doesn't know the difference between someone giving us a hug and us giving ourselves a hug. So it also has a nice mechanism that's connected to respiration, that's connected to breathing, and that's called abdominal breathing. And when you are in a place where you notice that there's some signal, a message coming from the body that we might associate with anxiety, but really it's just something mobilizing us, something getting our attention and telling us that we need to pay attention, whatever it might be. Once we notice that, if you can remember to engage abdominal breathing, very simple technique. I'll teach it to you right now. So abdominal breathing is basically just breathing in and out normally through the nose. Pardon me, my headset seems to be pulling off. There we go. All right, that's better. Sorry about that. So abdominal breathing is simply breathing in and out through the nose fairly normally. We're not doing deep breaths or anything like that. There are no holds here either. I know I get a lot of questions about this. Oh, in my yoga class, they said, breathe in 6, hold 4, breathe out 10, something like that. No holds. That kind of ratio breathing is great for a pranayama practice, but this is not pranayama. This is just breathing, healthy breathing. So we breathe in through the nose, the belly expands a little bit. So keep your belly soft. And then on the exhale, the belly releases a little bit. It's just this nice rhythmic kind of wave of breathing, belly expanding on inhale, releasing with exhale, just a little bit. And fairly soon, like right now, as a matter of fact, for me, you will notice that things do calm down. The tension in the body relaxes. The blood pressure decreases. The heart rate slows down. This is the relaxation response. You are now plugging in directly to the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response, and you're basically unplugging the fight or flight reaction. Now, again, the central nervous system doesn't know the difference between something from the outside, something from the inside. All it knows is that diaphragm is moving, giving a little vagal tone that goes up to the brainstem and sends a signal to the limbic system. And then it goes, oh, everything must be okay. She's breathing abdominally, everything's fine. So you can do this from the inside anytime you need it. So let's start our practice. And in our practice today, I'll be reminding you about abdominal breathing, but also during the practice, and especially in the silence, you can begin to notice perhaps where there might be some anxiety creeping in or some tension, some stress, whatever it might be. And two, what happens when you engage the abdominal breathing. This is all directly experienceable. So perhaps the first instruction is just to rest, to actually find a place, a way, a position where the body can rest, your body. And in these first few moments of a practice, this is often where we notice, wow, I'm holding a little tightness or tension. And there may seem to be no reason for that. This is just probably a very early sign from the central nervous system saying, hey, there's something that needs to be paid attention to. And of course, eyes can be closed or they can be open just a little bit, kind of unfocused, gazing toward a blank space, or they can be completely open, gazing at an object or a flower or a tree. And they can change. If you need to open your eyes at any point to reorganize yourself, to reorient to your surroundings, go ahead. Likewise, if you encounter tightness in the body and it's because of the position you're in, change your position. You have choice. So feeling where the body touches a chair or whatever you're sitting or lying on. Encountering this for the first time. And you may have felt these touch points in other meditation practices. This is the first time you felt them in this practice. And if being inside the body, if being inside the body and feeling sensations inside the body is difficult for you, you can come outside and perhaps feel the sensations of what your hands might be touching. So if it's comfortable for you to go inside, notice that this body is breathing. And once again, you may have felt yourself breathing countless times in the past, but this is the first time you have encountered this particular breath. And then allowing the abdomen to be soft so that as you breathe in, there's just a gentle expansion of the belly and just a gentle release of the belly. Not forcing, not pushing, not striving. And as you continue, perhaps sensing that the exhale is a grounding breath. As we breathe out, there can be a sense of downward release, a little deeper sinking into whatever you're sitting or lying on, perhaps. When we turn our attention toward the exhale in this way, the exhale tends to lengthen a bit, very naturally, no effort involved. And a slightly longer exhale can enhance the effectiveness of abdominal breathing on the central nervous system. And if at any time following these instructions about breathing is troublesome for you, or if it's having the opposite effect, then just leave those instructions behind. Maybe feel your hands or listen to some sounds in your world, or just feel the breath coming in and out as it rubs up against the inside of the nose. So we're going to take some minutes now and practice in silence. And of course, during the silence, the mind eventually is going to leave the sensations of breathing or the hands. It'll get tired of it. It'll say, oh, we need to check to make sure they're okay. And the mind will start to drift into all kinds of different directions. And this, of course, is not a mistake or a failure. It's just what your mind is going to do. And of course, it offers us that wonderful moment of awakening. Eventually, we will awaken and go, oh, I've been drifting around. Now we are mindful again. And we can move that mindful energy back toward the sensations of breathing or whatever you may be using to connect to the present moment. This will happen a lot, and each time is an opportunity to learn how to become present again. And so we'll continue through an extended period of silence. as we continue. So by now you've probably had lots of practice of becoming present because the mind drifted away, and then you noticed that, and that's the moment of awakening right there. We can also use this time of mindfulness before the mind drifts away again to check in with the body, to see if any micro tensions have crept back in. And they do it very silently and very slowly. We don't even notice it. And this is, of course, just an opportunity to let that go, to know that for some reason there's something going on that caused that. And perhaps re engage a little bit with the abdominal breathing. And if you want to just at this point let the abdominal breathing go do its own thing, you don't have to concentrate on it for the entire practice. And so we'll continue again in silence. And as we continue toward the conclusion of this practice exercise, this does not stop when the bell rings. Take your practice off the cushion, onto your path. Do not simply enjoy something like the relaxation response during a meditation practice. Engage with it throughout your days. And so, of course, taking as much time or any way that you need to transition from the practice. Um, Before we go into just a bit of inquiry, I'd like to also announce the Covidien Sangha. Da, da, da. So we have been going on. How do you like that? We have been going on now since March 17th, 2020, 5 days a week, and Monday through Friday. It's 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's a practice very similar to the format we have here. A little bit of a talk, a meditation that relates to the talk, and then inquiry. We have a lot of wonderful people in there. It's a very loving community. And if you're interested, write me here at this email address, and I will send you the Zoom link to it. It is Zoom, but cameras are always optional. So, Covidien Sangha. Love the t-shirt, do you, Monica? It's a prototype. We're working on it. So, anyhow, this was from a chalk drawing that was done. We had a little gathering last summer, and this was a mandala, and was a photograph taken of the center of that mandala. You can even see some of the chalk lying there. It's really, really cool. Anyway, I'd like to thank Dina for designing this and sending it to me completely on her own. Loved it. Okay. So yes, please come if you like. Now again, if anyone's interested in offering something to the mindful living community here at the Center for Mindful Living, feel free to go to the PayPal page. Okay, so what have we got here today? Any questions? Where can I get mine? She says, well, we'll have an infomercial one of these days. We'll figure that out one of these days. But let's see. Do you have any questions? Are there anything you want to share about what you engaged with in the practice? If you have any specific questions about abdominal breathing or the parasympathetic response in the central nervous system, whatever it might be. But the real takeaway here is take this away with you. Okay, it's no extra charge. This can be done at any time in your day when you want to quiet down, when you need to quiet down, maybe because of stress or anxiety. But really, the first step is to know that anxiety is present and at the earliest stages possible, if you can. And remember that anxiety is not a failure on your part, it's just a natural system in the body mobilizing you to take care of something. You have to be somewhere at a certain time. Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Okay, I'm on it now, and then engage the diaphragmatic breathing. Great, thank you. Calming good vibes. Thanks. Good to see you. Hmm. Any, I'm seeing so many of our folks from the Covidien Sangha here. So good to have you. No, what we're not affiliated with the Davidians. No. Um, why does a person breathe backwards sometime? Belly rises on exhale. I don't know, Darla, but that's a very good question. There may be a kind of, I don't know, a natural tendency for that to happen. I'll tell you what, though, I don't know that that's a problem, right? If you've noticed that you're expanding the belly on the exhale and releasing it on the inhale, see if there's something that happens when you do that. You might experiment with it. It's not a fatal error. And I would say that it's really about the movement of the diaphragm. It's not about, inhale, exhale, whatever that might mean. It's just that diaphragm moving against the vagus nerve, massaging it and increasing vagal tone is really the key, as far as I am aware. Simplicity of the breath. Yes, it is. It's a wonderful thing we have here, this organism. It operates on so many levels, so many different tracks. And I don't sometimes, I was a big fan of the space program when I was a kid, but right now it's like, why are we going out? There's so much here in the brain and body that we still don't understand. One of my clients the other day said that she's been spontaneously breaking into tears. So we looked up to see why do people cry? Why do people cry? You know what? Nobody knows for sure. It's things like that. How does a thought happen? What are dreams and why do we do them and why do they have the content that they have? There's still so much to learn about this thing up here. All right, my pleasure. Let's see. At some point, Monica says, I disappeared into the breathing. Did not fall asleep, but went into another state. Yes, there is a hypnagogic state. Hypnagogic means between sleeping and waking, and that can be induced through the relaxation response. You're not asleep, but you're not really awake either. And sometimes dreamlike images can come and go in that time as well. I have also found that this is an interestingly creative place in which to dwell in my meditation practice, or if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have something on my mind, I go, okay, let's look at this for a while. And I don't necessarily try to get back to sleep right away. So I kind of go with it because in that space, that liminal space there, that's where a lot of interesting things can be known. Perhaps, as Carl Jung said, the threshold intensity of the conscious mind diminishes and the unconscious material is allowed to come through, something like that. So enjoy your hypnagogic states. Anything else? Any announcements anyone here has? Okay. All right, great. I guess then I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, if that's okay. All right. So I'll be back third Sunday of February. Okay. And stay in touch. You know where to find me. And if you have any suggestions for directions that I might go in these practices, please let me know. If there's something that is going on for you, because if it's going on for you, it's going on for me. It's going on for everybody else here. And if it can be addressed here, I'm happy to do it. All right. Thank you all. Good to see all the new folks there too. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to end the broadcast now. I'll see you next month unless you want to come to the Covidien Sangha. Bye bye.